Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Mid-Atlantic Mauling League's Dungeonbowl. We're in the middle of week number 6 this evening, and we've got a really fun matchup, pretty bashy matchup, I think, tonight. Hey, SP, why is this so loud? There we go. SP Beaver with the sub. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. We got a pretty bashy matchup, I think, coming up tonight. It's going to be MAML Nightmare versus Philosopher's Song, Festung versus Spire. We've got Necromantic Horror versus Lizardman. Let's take a look at the standings real quick before we take a look at these two teams. Over in Division A, in first place here in week number 6 is Odin. It's Snuffle, coached by Season 2 champion Clypheus. They're a Norse team. They are 4-1-1. They are followed by the NC Snakes, coached by Moob, a Dark Elf team. They are 3-2-1. And the Gutterballs in third, El Nubarino's Orc team. They're 3-2-0. Over in Division B, in first place is none other than the Believe Broncos, coached by BB Nut. They're a Nurgle team. They are 4-0-1. They are followed by the coached by B-Dog. They're an undead team. They're 3-1-2. And in third place, the Necro team, the Goodest Boys Strike Back, coached by Old Gamer Mike. They are 3-0-2. And over in Division C, in first place is one of the teams up tonight, Philosopher's Song, coached by Spire. They're a Lizard team. They're 4-1-0. You know who's also 4-1-0? The number 2 team in this division, also up tonight, MAML Nightmare. Boy, look at, they both scored 11 touchdowns. There's just a +2 TD diff separating these two teams here. A win for either of these teams tonight means first place in Division C. The home team tonight will be MAML Nightmare. They've got 12 on the roster. 1 will not be starting this evening. That's Rex the Devourer. The number 4, Wraith. That's going to bring their TV to 1,355,000 gold. They've got both werewolves on the roster. Again, just one of those Wraiths. 2 of their ghoul runners, 2 flesh golems, and a bunch of zombies. One not dedicated fan, cheerleader. Of course, that's a cheerleader. I was gonna say, that's one dedicated cheerleader. You know what? I think it is a dedicated cheerleader. 1 dedicated cheerleader, 6 dedicated fans, 2 rerolls. They're gonna be up against the Lizards of Philosopher's Song this evening. They have 13 on the roster. Every last one of them will be starting this evening. That brings their TV to 1,690,000 gold. And that's a diff of 165,000 gold going to the Necro team in petty cash. Not 165, that's 355,000 gold going to the Necro team in petty cash. We'll talk about what they'll do with that in just a second. They have the big guy on the roster here, Bruce the Crocs, all 6 Sarses. They have a Chameleon Skink, and everybody else is a standard Skink runner. 1 Oppo, 6 dedicated fans, 3 rerolls. I only hire the undedicated cheerleaders. How are these two teams going to play tonight? We'll take a look at the home team first, MAML Nightmare. They've got some key positionals on this roster. These 2 werewolves, of course, we've seen these werewolves used to great effect all season long. Dragon Redclaw and Craven Bladeclaw both have an MA of 8. They have a strength of 3. They have claws, they have frenzy, they have block, they have dodge. Dragon Redclaw's also picked up a point of agility, bringing him up to an edge of 2+, and has tackle. Tackle is going to be a key skill in tonight's matchup, along with Clath, Nightmorn, the number 3 Wraith. Those are the 2 tackle players on this roster. There might even be a third that we'll talk about in the inducement phase in just a few minutes here. Tackle's going to negate dodge. Those skinks all have dodge. In fact, most of the skinks that MAML Nightmare will be up against tonight are blodgers with sidestep, which is going to make them a real nuisance to knock down, especially when you only have 2 rerolls on your roster. Still a great kitted out team here. You've seen Zorath Flesh Renderer has picked up an extra point of MA. They could, that's 3 players with an MA of 8. They can go toe-to-toe with these skinks, and they're going to want to. MAML Nightmare needs to hunt these skinks tonight, needs to remove them off the pitch. Claw's not going to be a big factor in that, but Frenzy certainly will be. The moment all the skinks are off the pitch, the Lizard team's done. They have nobody who can effectively handle the ball. In order to go after that skinks, that means there's going to have to be a point where Festung says, you know what, I need to mark these Sarses, I need to mark that Crocs, and get around them. And that's because the Crocs and the Sars are all Edge 5+, which means if they're marked, they're not repositioning to stay on the ball unless they blitz. It's going to be real tough for them to move. The downside is you're going up against strength 4 with block, and the Electrics, man, Electric Man with the sub. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate the kind words. Glad to have you here tonight. And thank you for your generosity. I really appreciate it. But yeah, so locking down the Sarses and that Crocs for a turn means that they can't go anywhere. They can't keep those skinks safe. And that's when you want to use this speed, this MA8, to go after those skinks, punch them in the face, get them off the pitch. That's going to be the game plan for Mammal Nightmare tonight. They're going to be up against the Lizards. The Lizards are going to do what the Lizards are going to do. These Sarses are looking for marks so they can take that 2-die block. 2 of them have Mighty Blow, 1 has Tackle. Spire's done a great job of spreading out that SPP on these Sarses. All but 1 of them have the block skill, that crucial block skill. Again, with the strength of 4, going against the strength of 3 means with no assists, that is a 2-die block with the block skill. Again, Mighty Blow is going to be a big factor. If Mammal Nightmare is really hunting these skinks, Philosopher's Song is hunting those werewolves in particular. If he can get, if Spire can get rid of the werewolves, they'll be in real good shape. The werewolves and the ghoul runner, those are the ball carriers for the Necro team. If they are removed from the pitch, they're going to have a real tough time scoring. That's going to be the focus for Spire tonight, and that can be real tricky for Mammal Nightmare to handle, right? You want to be going in with those blitzes, with those really fast werewolves with Frenzy and block, but Frenzy means you're going to have to follow up, which means you may find yourself in a position where you take the block, you get the knockdown, but now you need to dodge away, or else you're putting your werewolf in danger, and those werewolves aren't particularly agile, save for 1 of them. So that could be that's a tricky tactic to ride, Frenzy, right? It's a I was gonna say a double-sided coin. Aren't all coins double-sided? It can be good or it can be bad. These skinks very fast with an MA of 8. Most of them are blodgers. A number of them have sidestep. That means only the pal's gonna knock them down, and if you don't knock them down, it's the push. They can go wherever they want. They can get an extra space of movement. They can continue to mark a ball carrier. It's gonna make them really tricky. Play-Doh, the fouler here, the dirty player, sneaky git, is gonna be a big thorn in the side of Mammal Nightmare, as well as this is going to be an opportunity for Philosopher's Song to really try to put the cleats into the face of this Necro team. Runbad with the raid. Thank you very much for the raid. Welcome, Raiders. Runbad, hope your stream went very well. Hell's Reach, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. 165K in petty cash going to Mammal Nightmare this evening. And why do I keep saying 165K? 355K going to Mammal Nightmare this evening. And I think for my money, that's probably going to be an Ivan the Animal Death Shroud, right? You can pick up another tackle player, strength 4 tackle player, that gives them 3 tackle players to deal with. With just the 2 rerolls, you really want to be making sure that you don't have to spend a reroll knocking down a skink. You get tackled, you turn off the dodge skill, and now these skinks are in a bit of trouble. With Ivan, that's going to give him enough money for a wizard as well. That would be what I pick up with the petty cash. We'll see what Festoon has up his sleeve here in just a few moments. Week 6 of 9 this evening. So now the divisions are starting to set here. The top 2 teams from each of the 3 divisions will make the cut to the top 8, and then the 2 best placing teams besides will make the cut. In other words, after the top 2 teams from each of the 3 divisions have made the cut, there's 2 spots left. You take all of the teams between the 3 divisions, and the 2 best ranking between all of those will make those final 2 spots as well. We're getting down to the wire here in the final open competition of the season before the championship invitational, the Blood Bowl. Blood Bowl number 6 here in the league. Mammal Nightmare in the green, Philosopher's Song in the black. Lots of money for these 2 teams this evening. So he did pick up Ivan the Animal Death Route. I agree with that decision. Didn't see what else they picked up, but we'll see here shortly after the coin toss. Looks like clear skies for tonight's game. Mammal Nightmare wins the coin toss, and they will punch the defense first. Mammal Nightmare. An assistant coach and a biased referee. All right, let's go. Let's go. So they have the referee on their side here for tonight's game. did not pick up the wizard, went with the biased referee instead. They do have Ivan the Animal on the roster. That's 3 tackle players to go up against these skinks. That's right. I'm playing the Pip Stars this week. The season so far for these two teams, MAML Nightmare ranked number 6 this season with a TD diff of +13. They have a record of 12, 5, and 6. They're up against Philosopher's Song, ranked number 4 this season with a record of 14, 3, and 6, a TD diff of +17. Electrics Man says, is there a prediction? There is. You've got a few minutes left on the prediction to try to make some money. Try to make some, shouldn't say money, some channel points. Cups formation for the defense. Now the offense to set up here. 4 on the line currently. Remember, they're down a Wraith. A Wraith, the blitzers, so to speak, on a Necro team. Ivan the Animal on the line here. He's the left tackle on the line for the offense, wearing number 4 here. Again, he's the 3rd tackle player on the roster. You've got Dragon Redclaw over in the left wide zone who has tackle. And you also have Clath Nightmore in the number 3 Wraith with tackle as well. Here's the kick. Zorath Fleshrender back to receive. Shallow kick here. Philosopher's Song's going to pick up an extra reroll. 4-2 now as the ball kicked to the 2-yard line here on the onside kick over in the left wide zone. They are going to have to cover this ball early in this drive. Turn number 1 underway. Proud Star with the sub. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate your generosity. Welcome to the stream. Woohoo indeed. Shallow kick here means they need to cover this ball early before rolling dice. 2-die block against Hume's going to be a both standing result. I appreciate it, Proud Star. Thank you very, very much. And now 2-die with Stitch Fist gets the POW here, looking for a 10+. Hume very injured here. 2-die block against Kant, the number 2 Sars blocker, over on the right side of the defensive line. Gets a push out of this. Taking blocks, but that's ball still not secured. 2-die blitz by Dragon Redclaw gets the knockdown on Bruce. Claw in effect here. 8+ breaks armor. Gets a stun out of it. Claw treats everybody's AV as if it's an 8+. Won't be effectual against these skinks since they're already at an AV of 8+. Went for the blitz with the werewolf. Finished the turn collecting the ball. And now the ball in the hands of Dragon Redclaw on the 4-yard line. Proud Star says Ironheart Skin is amazing against Claw. Ironheart Skin, a trait of Chaos Dwarves just added to Blood Bowl 3. Turn 1 now for Philosopher's Song. Picked up an extra reroll thanks to Nuffle. Praise be his name. Knockdown on the right side of the line here by Kant. Number 2 Sars blocker. Remember the goal here for Philosopher's Song. The goal goal here for Philosopher's Song is going to be to focus on these ball carriers if they get an opportunity to. They still need to keep their formation intact as well, because it's very easy to have your strong players locked down because they're so low in agility. But they're going to be looking to target these two wolves and the ghoul runner. These are the two ghoul runners, I should say. These four players have big targets on their back. "45 seconds left to go here in turn number 1 after the blitz over on the right side." Man, my thumb itches. I just took a shower, and it's cold here, and whenever it's cold and dry, my skin itches. Gosh, it gets worse the older I get. "20 seconds left to go here in turn 1 for Philosopher's Song." Yeah, oh, believe me, Proudstar, I've got I've got lotion. Turn 2 now for MAML Nightmare. Proudstar says, "I'm in Indiana, I know all about it." Yeah, it does get cold there, huh? Moose says, "Yeah, lotion where it gets those again." I haven't seen that movie in a long time. I've been rewatching the Terminator movies after Terminator... What's the full name of the game? Terminator 2D. No Fate. Very good game. Blitz over the right side here. 2-die blitz. Got the POW against Schlegel. Again, looking for an 8+ here with the Wolf. No armor break. Proudstar asks, "Have you ever seen the series Terminator: The Sarah Connor Chronicles?" I have. It only lasted a season, I think. Ball shifts over to the right side of the pitch, just outside of that right wide zone. Defense will be sure to shift right as well here. 1-die block against Heidegger gets a push. Two seasons. Good foul attempt here against the mighty blow blocker, Schlegel. Didn't get anything out of it, though. Turn 2 now for Philosopher's Song. This is a good way to get players off the pitch that perhaps you wouldn't otherwise get off the pitch. If your opponent has some players that are going to give you a real hard time, and they're pretty resilient, don't be afraid to foul. Don't be afraid to foul and take them off the pitch. In fact, depending on circumstances, right, in league play, it would depend highly on who you are playing. You might want to kick somebody out as a fouler, as Philosopher's Song has done, and then you have somebody who's all geared up to be very effective as a fouler to get them off the pitch. The reason fouling is so effective is because it's a straight armor roll, and you can get assists on fouls in a very similar way to assists on blocks, but each assist on a foul treats the effective armor value of the player you're fouling as a -1. So in this case here, with 2 assists, that's an 8+ to break armor, not counting any other skills. So that's a way that you can really reduce the armor value of some of these more resilient players. First removal of the game is going to be Decompose, the lineman. 1-man player advantage now for Philosopher's Song. Just a lineman, but every little bit counts. Player advantage means you have one more player who's free to maneuver and perhaps lend an assist, exert some tackle zones, maybe even take a block. Einstein says it was the Sarah Connor Chronicles was getting really good after after season 2. I remember liking it, but I also remember it kind of didn't follow like the movies. Like I think it took place. I don't really remember. I think it took place after Terminator 2, and then just kind of ignored Terminator 3. Turn 3 for MAML Nightmare as players shift to the right, evacuating the left wide zone. Electric Span says, are you promoting cheating by fouling? Yes, unequivocally. Wraith, a very annoying piece. We've talked about how they have tackle. That's certainly annoying. They've been kitted out with Mighty Blow and Guard as well, but they have sidestep and foul appearance, which can make them super annoying. If you don't knock them down, they can continue to mark who they wish to mark. And if you want to try to knock them down, you've got to roll a d6 first. On a 1, you lose your block or your blitz because you're disgusted by the way they look. But, I mean, look at that. He looks adorable. That's not foul at all. You have a lovely appearance, Clath Nightmord. You just don't know what holiday season it is. That's all. That's all. Can't hold that against you. .40 seconds to go here for MAML Nightmare. They have the ball on their own 2-yard line. Right side of the pitch very well defended here by Philosopher's Song. They might shift this ball laterally back to the left. We'll see here shortly. So I was in the San Francisco Bay Area for a week in San Mateo, and there's this company called Waterfield that makes bags. I like bags. And they make bags, and there was this one bag I wanted, and I was like, you know what? I'll get it, because they're based in San Francisco, and I'm like, I'll get it while I'm there. It'll be awesome. It turns out they don't have a retail presence. I was so sad. They only make them there and they sell them online. T-Die Blitz against Wittgenstein. Gets the knockdown thanks to block, but no armor break. It's bags a game. No, bags are bags. Like backpacks, messenger bags, things like that. T-Die block against Highdecker over on the right side here by Ivan the Animal Death Trial, the star player. Gets the knockdown, but not much more out of it. Turn 3 now for Philosopher's Song. T-Die against Ivan the Animal. 8+ breaks armor with Mighty Blow. Mighty Blow gives you a +1 to your armor or your injury roll. If you can break armor naturally, you get the +1 for the injury roll instead. Triple Slayer, welcome to the stream. Triple Slayer says in Minnesota they call the game cornhole bags. You know what? I think that's a better name, frankly. Tells you exactly what game you're playing. Minute 5 left on the clock here in turn number 3. Here comes the blitz. T-Die blitz against the Headless Horseman. This is a both standing result unless he spends a reroll. Does not spend the reroll there. Ooh. Yeah, that's tough. Without the tackle skill there, you're looking for a POW. But that is a player that you really want off the pitch. After the mark, sends the Chameleon over to the left wide zone. Chameleon trades a point of movement for effectively for the on-the-ball skill. There's a few other differences, but on the ball lets them move 3 spaces for free on a pass or a kickoff. And Plato kitted out as the Fowler. As the Fowler is two important skills to be a Fowler. There is Dirty Player. Dirty Player is Mighty Blow, but for fouling. And then you have Sneaky Get. The way you get called off the pitch on a foul is on your die rolls, on your 2d6 die rolls. If you roll doubles, the ref has spotted you and you get ejected from the game. If you're a Sneaky Get, you do not get ejected from the game if you roll doubles on the armor roll. So Sneaky Get plus Dirty Player makes you a pretty effective Fowler. Turn 4 now for MAML Nightmare. They've got the ball on their own 8-yard line. Still haven't been able to crack this defense. And they're down a player to boot. A little bit of pressure over on the right side. See Philosopher's Song coming in around the right side here, trying to push these players out of the drive. And then the Skink came around the right side as well, trying to push this offense to the left. If they do that, the defense can shift left, and then they have less pitch that they have to defend. They can start to double up their defense and try to go after this cage. One minute down here for MAML Nightmare as Festin considers their options. You have to be very, very careful with your action order and your tactics when you have just 2 rerolls. 2-die blitz against Confucius. Got the POW. No armor break. Took the block with the ball carrier, Dragon Redclaw. Still has a couple of more spaces of movement here with the Werewolf. MA8 is pretty fast. They're going to end up shifting back to the left a little bit, keeping the ball on the 8-yard line. Getting the assist for the 1-die against the Crocs, and this will work out. They'll knock down Bruce. Very important knockdown there to try to keep the ball carrier safe. The lineman here, Taipan number 2, will come in on the right side. Has to spend one of the 2 rerolls on the skull against Wittgenstein. Reroll results in a push. Yeah, I was at PAX Unplugged a few weekends ago. It's a board game convention in Philadelphia. And there's a company named All Play, and they make bags for board games that I like. And my bag's it's starting to fray a little bit. And they basically have the bag I have. They have a new SKU, a new product. It's the bag that I have, except it also has wheels and a handle like travel luggage, but you can also wear it as a backpack. It's great. So I bought that. 2-die stand-up blitz here against the Headless Horseman. This is going to work out due to tackle. Looking for a 7+ to break armor. This could be a huge removal. There it is. Very well done by Spire. 2-man player advantage. And they got rid of one of those 4 key players on the Necro team. Iron Cynic says, I haven't looked at Penny Arcade for years. Neither have I. I don't even know if, I assume it's still around. Like the actual comic, that is. It's great. It's the same bag with wheels, and a handle, like a telescoping handle. But I also noticed they put a hard like plank of wood in there too for some reason. Whatever, I'm cool with it. I think they needed the rigidity for the handle, the telescoping handle. A mark on the ball carrier now here in turn 4, the final turn of the first quarter. Philosopher Song with excellent defense. They are not giving up an inch here. You can see their formation still very much intact. If we follow the tackle zones, well, now that he's moved, that's not true. But if you look at the tackle zones here, right? Unbroken. Nowhere for this Necro team to go. And now, second quarter begins here at the top of turn 5 for MAML Nightmare. They're finding themselves marked back on their own 8-yard line. And now another skink comes in over in the left wide zone. Ivan the Animal stands up over in the right wide zone. Two plus dodge to a 2-die blitz. Got the pow on Hume. 8+ breaks armor, but can't break armor. Has to follow up due to frenzy, and then dodges away on 2+. Well done. .34 seconds to go here in turn number 5. They finally advance the ball across the line of scrimmage. They have it on the opposing 2-yard line right now. We could see some dice on the ball here. Looks like that's exactly what we're going to see. There's the first mark on the ball carrier. Strength 3 versus strength 2. We could see another skink come in. That's 2. And then we could see a blitz. That would be 2 dice. Would be a dodge involved, though. He could just bring in Socrates here with the block skill. What did I eat today? I ate potatoes, just like baked potatoes. Double skulls over the right wide zone, but that's fine. 4 rerolls to spend. Baked potatoes and ice cream, and I think I'm a child. Baked potatoes and ice cream. Two-die block against Stitch Fist. That is the Flesh Golem. Flesh Golems have a strength of 4. They also have Stand Firm, which means if they get pushed, they don't have to. They can stay right where they are. They're great control pieces. You can use them to anchor your formation in place. Two-die block over the right wide zone against Ivan the Animal. Gets the knockdown here. Pins Ivan to the sideline. So now there's nowhere for Ivan to go that isn't a negative dodge, and that would be a 5+ to dodge away. 5+ on a D6. That's a 1/3 chance of success. And even if he succeeds, he's still marked. Here's the blitz on the ball carrier. 2-die blitz. Spends the reroll looking for the pow. Got the pow out of this. 9+ breaks armor. Ball bounces. Couldn't have bounced into a better spot here for Philosopher's Song. Ball bounces to the 2 over on the left side. Iron Cynic says, now I love air-fried sliced potatoes. I have never met a potato I haven't liked. I used to eat them raw as a kid. Bad Dog says, living in Idaho, I can confirm baked potatoes are amazing. Yes, indeed. 2-die block against Nietzsche's dead. Tackle in effect here will get the knockdown. Black Wolf says raw potatoes and salt is the best snack. Raw potatoes are great. Potatoes are just amazing. they're so good. Minute 12 on the clock here for Mammal Nightmares. They have to find a way to recover this ball. Plenty of time left on the clock because they have a lot of speed, but boy, that scrum around the ball is already going to be difficult to deal with. 1-die block against Hume is not going to work out. Luckily, Craven Blade Claw is going to remain on the pitch. Turn 6 now for Philosopher's Song. Going to start with a blitz against Dragon. Red Claw got the pow out of this. 8+ breaks armor. He's going to pop the ball out of this scrum. Very well done. So bounce into the hands. Well, I shouldn't say into the hands, but bounce to Clath Nightmorn, who has no hands, so can't recover the ball. Bounce to Nietzsche's dead, who is prone, so he can't recover the ball either. Now the ball back on the Necro 4-yard line. Electric Man says, baked potatoes, fried potatoes, mashed potatoes, boiled potatoes, scallops. Yep. I love potatoes, for sure. So I was on my flight. I had the meal I had. I'm not even making this up. It was Shake Shack. The flight served Shake Shack. Good 3+ dodge with 3+ pickup. Nietzsche is dead, in control of the ball. Plenty of movement to go. And now the defense in possession of the ball. One rush forward brings him to the 14-yard line. Second rush brings him to the 16. Very well done here by Spire. Electric Man says, what kind of plane was that? What do you mean? Like, what was the make and model of the plane? Or what was the airline? Bad Dog says, 2 successful rushes. This ain't Mammal. Philosopher's Song on the bonus clock here. You get 7 minutes, 30 seconds for the duration of the game. Philosopher's Song. And you can spend all of that in a single turn if you want. The airline was Delta. Tried to dodge away, failed the dodge, got KO'd, so it's going to be down to a 1-man player advantage for Mammal Nightmare. I'm sorry, for Philosopher's Song, as we go into turn 7. 2-die block over in the left wide zone. Got the POW against Confucius. Mammal Nightmare targeting these skinks, as you must do. Iron Cynic says, that's a lazy airline. I mean, they had other meals, but I was like, oh, Shake Shack. I want that. Nightmare was on offense, and now they're behind the ball here. It's difficult when the defense can gather the ball. You can often find yourself out of position, and that's simply a matter of the direction you're going. Right, you're on offense. You know, you spread out wide, so you have lots of movement options. You push forward, right? Your line moves forward, and then suddenly you lose the ball. The defense can get away with a speedy player. Now all of your players are over here. It's very difficult to sort of reset and play some defense. Iron Cynic says, tell kids that my laziness makes me very careful to do things right the first time because I hate doing extra. Yeah, I say I'm a software engineer because I'm lazy. Because I want the computers to do the work for me. Turn 7 out for Philosopher's Song. They can score at any time on this turn. They can score right now if they wish, but they're going to be taking some blocks here. They have enough re-rolls to make these die rolls fairly safe. Two die against the Wraith. Gets the knockdown here. Looking for a 9+. Electric Span says the fastest way to do anything is once. Amen. Two die against Rotgut McSmash. The level 2 lineman has he's the dirty player, actually. Oh, he was a dirty player. Regen did not kick in for this Necro team, and that is a dead zombie. He died once to play for this team, and now he's dead for good. There's the score, 1-0. Well done by Philosopher's Song to take the lead in this ball game. Necro teams cannot have an apothecary, and that is because they have a necromancer. The necromancer, any team with regen is not allowed an apothecary. But when a player takes a casualty that has regen, you roll a d6 and a 4+, you don't actually keep that casualty. You're back to normal. Your opponent still scores the SPP for it. But you're back in the reserve box ready to go. Unfortunately, Rotgut McSmash failed the regen roll. It also means you get quote-unquote free linemen, right? You can, with few exceptions, you can't, well, maybe it's not few exceptions, but some exceptions. If you are a regen team and you kill an opposing player, that player will resurrect as a zombie for your team that you can use forevermore, including that game. They'll be in the reserve box ready to go for the next drive. Here's the kick. Rolled a 3 on the D3. 6 players can move, but it'll probably just be the 5. Well, it can't be 6. It didn't have 6 to move, but we'll probably move all 5. Gets Zorath Flesh Render under the ball here. Was really hoping for a timeout. Failed the catch here. Turn 8 now for MAML Nightmare. 2-die block against Hume. Look at a push out of this. Ivan the Animal on the block. 2-die against Kant will be a push as well. Blitz still available. Gonna try to blitz down Wittgenstein here, the rookie Saurus blocker. 2-die block. Gets the knockdown, looking for an 8+. Doesn't get it. Good 2+ dodge away. Dragon Red Claw has the agility of an elf. Retreats Craven Blade Claw off the line to keep him safe. It's a wise decision. If you can't get anything actionable out of an important player, just keep them safe. Move them back off the line. Prevent your opponent from causing any damage. Trying to pass for an extra point of SPP here with Zorath Flesh Renderer. Didn't work out, but good attempt there. Good presence of mind, right? You might be asking yourself, if you're a new player, why pass backwards like that? It's because a successful pass gives you 1 SPP. SPP are star player points. Those are the experience points in the game of Blood Bowl. So by picking up that ball and trying to do an easy pass, or quote-unquote easy, but a short pass or a quick pass to Craven Blade Claw, even though it doesn't help you score a touchdown, it does help level up your players. Zolfiana, welcome to the stream. At the end of the half, the score is 1-0 in favor of Philosopher's Song, and they will be on offense to start. It's always a good feeling when you are in the lead, when you were on defense in the first half, because that means you can completely control the momentum of the game, starting with the second half here. You are already in the lead. If you score, you increase your lead. If not, you possess the ball, you control it, you dictate where it's going. So a very strong advantage going into the second half here for Philosopher's Song. (11v10) on the pitch here. 1-man player advantage for Philosopher's Song. Back up to 3 rerolls. They had 4 in the first half, thanks to Nuffle. Zophiana says, "Go Song!" Three on the line for the offense. Spread very wide in this V formation. Socrates back to receive. Sidestepping Blodger. The number 9 lineman. Zophiana demanding death. We've already had a murder. We'll see if we have another one here. Pitch invasion. The fans do not like Confucius. They're like, you know what? I'm tired of all your little sayings and your phrases. Just be quiet and play some Blood Bowl. Armor break on the line. Gets a stun out of this. Now a 2-die against Taipan number 2. Gets a push. That stun was on the star player, Ivan the Animal. Iron Cynic says, I had a very similar experience versus Draken Spear last year at one of Runback's tournaments. This year I played much better versus him. You're creating a self-fulfilling prophecy here. Yeah, I mean, you know, we've all been on the losing side of the game. But, you know, it's not over till it's over. Mr. Rocker Crocker says, wise man say this. Person standing on toilet is high on pot. 3-die block by the Crocs. Gets the knockdown here. 8+ breaks armor on Decompose, thanks to Mighty Blow. So the offense taking some marks on the outside here. What they're trying to do is they're trying to encircle the defense. A push on Craven Blade Claw over on the right side. Trying to box in this defense so they can't get at the ball carrier. Turn 9 now for MAML Nightmare. Two-die blitz. Pal against Hegel. No armor break. Needed an 8 there. Got a 7. So Fiona says, I want to get better at Blood Bowl, but I like bad teams like Renegades. Hey, that's okay. I like humans. It's fine. I like humans and halflings. Killed. I had two players left in the pitch in my halfling game. Double pals over in the left wide zone against Wittgenstein. Got the pal out of this. So Fiona says, I want to do stupid stuff like make a ball handler, big guy. I mean, I think that's part of the fun of the game, right? Like, you can play any way you want. Maybe some strategies are better than others, but man, it's amazing. It's really cool when you see something wacky work out. I mean, we've seen a Crocs touchdown. I've seen a tree interception. Tudai gets decomposed here at the top of turn 10, gets the knockdown. Tudai. Electric Fence is good news. Most of us are humans. SB Beaver says, way to make us sound boring. How dare you? I think BB Nut accused me of, what did he say? What was it? I'm trying to remember what his exact words were. He said on stream, he said, you seem to have a fascination with playing the most vanilla team in Blood Bowl. To which I said, vanilla is delicious. Bad Dog says, your team is the only one I've played against where the opposing player did not die. Hooray! 16 seconds to go here for Philosopher's Song. Hanging onto this ball on their own 8-yard line. Again, the momentum's completely in their favor. They don't have to rush the score. They just need to hang on to this ball, which means there's lots of things that the defense has to think about, right? Like if they don't go after that ball, they're not going to win. But then if they do go after the ball, they overextend. They're up against a team that has a lot of fast players. They can just fly right by them and increase their lead. Very difficult spot to be in. Turn 10 now for MAML Nightmare. Sophiana says, my obsession with big guy touchdowns actually comes from a rat ogre I had in Blood Bowl 2 that had tagged a ball carrier. He intercepted the pass away from him, blitzed, and in case the former ball carrier got a touchdown. That's awesome. SB Beaver says, is that because they were already taken out by the halflings? It could very well be. 1 minute, 16 seconds left in turn number 10 as MAML Nightmare has to carefully consider when to make their move. Boot Polish says, it's a soft corner. I'd call it a Squirklian cage. What a great turn. 2+ dodge, hunting the skink over the right side here. Gets the knockout thanks to tackle. Sophiana said that was a 7 SPP play, instantly grew claws. That's awesome. Iron Cynic says the new Blood Bowl rules are going to make Rat Ogre carriers even better. How so? Double skulls over on the left side here. MAML Nightmare eats it. They only have 2 rerolls. That's another skill you have to learn in this game, is when to burn a reroll and when to keep it. If you're not getting value out of the reroll, don't spend it. It's just like anything else in life. If you're not getting value out of your money, don't spend it. If you're not getting something you want or need, save the money. It's the same thing here. If you're not getting something you want or need, save the reroll. Spend it when it counts. 2-die block against Corp Script. Stumblefoot works out here. No armor break. Minute 5 left in turn 11 for Philosopher's Song. Spire, very, very good at playing a very solid positioning game. We saw on defense how they did not give an inch to the offense, and then when the opportunity presented itself, Spire was then said, "All right, now is the time that I can go after the ball." Same thing here on offense. They're keeping their formation intact, keeping that offense spread very wide here to give them as many movement options as possible without getting encircled by this defense. You can see right there, they shifted the ball over to the left side of the pitch. Now they're over in the left wide zone. Two-die against Ivan the Animal is going to be a push. Will almost certainly eat a block by Bruce at some point later in the turn here. 5 seconds to go for Philosopher's Song. The Dungeonbowl is the last of the open competitions in our season. We have 3 open competitions and 1 invitational. The 2 finalists from each of the 3 open competitions earn an invite to the invitational, and then a number of other teams may earn invites as well, depending on how that bracket shakes out. So far, our 2 finalists have been the same coaches for the Chaos Cup and the Spike Magazine Trophy. It's been BB Nut versus Noob. BB Nut winning both times. Turn 11 now for MAML Nightmare. Move says, way to rub it in. I would look at it differently. I would look at it as, you've been a finalist twice. I have barely a team remaining. Bad Dog says the Invitational needs more Arlington Nationals. Well, I hope we see them there. One die block against Hegel is a push by Zorath Flesh Renderer. I keep saying Flesh Renderer, but it's Flesh Render. Spire says I bombed out in the first round of both playoffs. I still think that's great, though. That puts you in a good spot to make the Blood Bowl, depending on how the bracket shakes out. Uphill block against Wittgenstein. Spends a reroll. This will be a push. Gets a push and a mark on the ball carrier. That's an important mark. Remember, this Wraith has tackle. Tackle negates dodge in all respects. Dodge does 2 things for you. It allows you to re-roll a failed dodge. It also allows you to stay on your feet on a defender stumbles result. Tackle shuts both of those off. So now if Socrates were to dodge away, Socrates won't. It'll be a block against Clath Nightmorn. But let's say Socrates wanted to dodge away. They wouldn't get a free re-roll on the failed dodge. They could still spend a team re-roll, however, to re-roll that failed dodge. T9 block against Taipan number 2. Gets Pal. Moob says, I have my work cut out for me this comp. I've been doing very middle of the pack so far in Division A. It shows me in second, but the 3rd and 5th place teams still have a game to play this week. Yeah, I was talking to some buddies of mine. I think I think it's all downhill for me. I wouldn't say we're on the downhill side of the hill. I think we've just launched off the cliff. And we're just spiraling out of control at this point. 2-9 against Clath. Nightborn's gonna get the POW here. Good blocking position by Clath here as well. Clath, if Clath were to stay on their feet, they are a sidestepper, which means they get to choose any adjacent space to get pushed to. And so in this ooh, great armor break, in this manner, they could stay on the ball carrier, but by pushing in this way, there's nowhere for them to sidestep to stay on the ball. And now the ball carrier is going to move down the sideline to the opposing 20-yard line. Very well done by Spire. Move says I lost a heartbreaker to Clavius. Bootball says spread your arms and flap. I'll be trying. Bad Dog says, as ABU2 said after our game, his team is most comfortable in the hospital bed. Failed dodge over the right side here into a stun. Turn 12 back to MAML Nightmare. The Lizards threatening to score at this point. It's going to be hard to stop them. They might need to try to... Boy, being down 0-2 is going to be tough to come back from, but I think they need to try to force the score and just try to knuckle a little bit here. The Poop Polish says, if I learned anything from Saturday morning cartoons, don't look down and you won't fall. Electric Man says, I start on the bottom, so there's only one way to go, sideways. We'll rush here to mark Socrates. Oh, no rush. Didn't want to risk the wolf. Fourth and final quarter begins. Philosopher's Song in the lead, 1-0. They can score right now and make it 2-0 if they wish. 2-9 block against Decompose will be a knockdown. Breaks armor. Got the removal. Well done. Another armor break. 2 SPP on the casualty. And now the Lizards have come to play. Somebody reminded them, they were like, why are you scoring touchdowns? Why don't you punch people in the face? I'm like, oh yeah, sorry, I forgot. 2-9 blocking against Ivan the Animal. Gets a push out of this. Or it could have been a both standing, actually, and then another block. But it looks like he might want to free up one of these Sauruses. Yeah, frees up the Saurus to mark Craven Blade Claw over on the right side of the pitch. Then takes a mark against Dragon Red Claw on the left side. Good marks here by Philosopher's Song, marking all of these fast players. 2-die blitz over on the right side, gets a both standing result out of it, but has effectively marked out the werewolf. If he's going to knock him down, he might have stalled this out for another turn, but instead is going to score here, and Philosopher's Song increases their lead 2-0. Oh no. Didn't even get back to KO. Turn 13 coming up for MAML Nightmare. Cups for the defense, it looks like. Yes, indeed. Three-man player advantage for the Lizards. It's 11v8 on the pitch. Four on the line. Two Wolves come back into the half-back position. There'll be a timeout, so now it's turn 14 for MAML Nightmare. Unfortunately, losing a turn here. Two-die block on the line. We'll get a pal. Zofiana says, I will say in a different league, I'm running around with a very fast corn team, and a lot of my players have at least one extra movement, and my ball carrier, Marauder, is an 11 square threat from the end zone. That is frightening, but that's awesome. Knock down the big guy, the Crocs. Bruce. Is this going to take a little nap? This looks like a disgusting pitch to take a nap on, though. Good 2+ pickup by Dragon Redclaw. Advances the ball up to the 6-yard line. Remember, these are the number 1 and number 2 teams in Division C, so points matter. You get 3 points for a win, 1 for a draw. And the first tiebreaker, other than who beat whom, is your TD differential. So scoring touchdowns helps for placement. So we may see MAML Nightmare try to punch this ball into the end zone and make this a 2-1 ball game at the end. There's always strategic decisions to make, right? Lots of tactical decisions are obvious, but the strategic ones are less so. You could try to score, but that probably means risking these very important players we talked about. And if that's the case, do you take that risk and perhaps not score, and now you're down a player for the next game, or perhaps for the rest of the season? Or do you just lick your wounds and prepare for next week and just say, you know what, this is going to be 2-0. Sofiana redeeming the Telestrator of Doom. It's already happened once today. Bad Dog says, at the risk of jinxing it, my prediction looks solid. You just jinxed it now. C says your drawing just sealed the fate of 3 players. You know what? I gotta say, Dragon, the fact that you can handle that ball without melting your hand, good for you. Good for you. That's training. That is professional training. Philosopher's Song back on the bonus clock, down to 5 minutes, 3 seconds. Plenty of time left in this game to take really however much time they need for these last 2 turns. Three plus dodge. Another 3. Confucius with no fear takes a mark on the ball carrier. Stand up blitz for a 3-die blitz. Only gets a push out of this. Dragon Redclaw runs away to safety. I think that is a fair move. Running all those key players back into the corner of the end zone. Two-die block against Confucius. He's going to get knocked out for his audacity. Now a 1-die against Hume. This will be a both standing result. An uphill against Bruce. That will be a skull. Tough uphill. Yeah, tough uphill there because, wow. Because you're up against Mighty Blow. He did die. I'm going to say that counts for the Telestrator of Doom, but he did regen. So he's back in the reserve box. Turn 16 now for Mammal Nightmare. I'm sorry, for Philosopher's Song. Bruce is going to go boneheaded. He loses his action. He loses his tackle zones. It's not going to matter too much here. 2-die block against Stitch Fist. This will be a knockdown thanks to block. Block and dodge, the two most important skills in the game of Blood Bowl, in my opinion. You'll be hard-pressed to see two skills that are used any more than those two. Two-die Mighty Blow Blitz gets the knockdown. Looking for a 9+ against Grave Grinder, the rookie Flesh Golem. Sophiana says, I'll argue Mighty Blow. Electric Command says Mighty Blow and Guard. Also very important skills. $22 seconds to go here at the top of turn 16. Turn 16 for Mammal Nightmare. No rerolls remaining. We'll see if they take any blocks. They'll probably take a block or a blitz with Ivan at least, but we'll see. No SPP if they do so. Or rather, it's a star player, right? So he's not a permanent rostered player. So if he picks up an SPP, it doesn't really help out your team. 2-die blitz instead. I think that's a good call, but only gets a both standing result out of this. And that'll be the end of the game. 2-0 the final here. Philosopher's Song takes this one and will remain at the top of the leaderboard undefeated. Very, very well played game. Personally, I think it is always difficult being the team with two rerolls. Two rerolls is a little short for me, I think. I think 3 is where a lot of teams want to be. Some teams want more. But still, I mean, these are the top 2 teams of Division C. Very well played game. Philosopher's Song stays ahead here with a record of 5-1-6. They're looking pretty good to make the cut here to the quarterfinals of this competition. We've got lots more games to play here in week 6. Why don't we take a look at the schedule before we leave for the evening? Coming up next, 7 is a good amount of team rerolls. Oh, right, let me finalize the predictions. There we go. There we go. Coming up next, we've got, it looks like 2 games, a double header tomorrow, Monday, December 15th, starting at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's UTC -5. We're going to have the Gutterballs versus the Badass Biatches. El Numerino versus Malik. That's Orcs versus something I don't remember. Let's see. I think it's Amazons. Yeah, Orcs versus Amazons. Bad Dog says, I'm rich. Congratulations. And then at 9:30 p.m. Tomorrow night, we have our second game of our doubleheader. It's going to be the Napanee Nightmare versus Grimdark Orchard. We've got Proud Star versus Crikey, and that is going to be Chaos Chosen versus Orcs. And then on Tuesday, December 16th, we've got another doubleheader starting at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, that's UTC -5. We've got the World of Cheese versus the Rockettes. James Likes Snacks versus Real Human. And that's going to be Pro Elves. It's Elven Union versus Dwarves. That's going to be a super fun matchup. Very slow, bashy dwarves versus very fast, agile elves. And then after that, we've got one of the games I've been looking forward to the most in this competition. We have got the current Chaos Cup and Spike Magazine Trophy champion BB Nutt and the Believe Broncos versus the current league champion Nick Satan and the Dream of Wish Foundation. That's going to be Nurgle versus Halflings. That's oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. That's this Thursday at 6 p.m. The second game of the doubleheader on Tuesday will be Entanglements versus the Fishy Fiends. We've got Conkill versus Ajax. And that is going to be Imperial Nobility versus Chaos Renegades. And then on Thursday, we've got yet another doubleheader. Well, it's not a doubleheader, but we've got two games starting at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to get the night started with that game I just talked about, the Believe Broncos versus the Dream of Wish Foundation. And then we're going to close out the night at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the Discomancers versus Dead and Loving It. That's going to be Ian versus S. Beaver. That's Necro versus Vampires. That's going to be a fun one as well. Two more games left to be scheduled in this week. 9 weeks in regulation before the Cut the Top 8. And when those games get scheduled, you'll be able to check out and get alerted to that schedule on our website at maml.club. That's MAML.CLUB. Here on Twitch, or even on our social media pages on Blue Sky, X, and Facebook. You can hang out in our Discord channel. I'll put a link in the chat. There it is. We have the schedule and the standings always up to date in our Discord channel as well. And you can watch previous games on our YouTube channel, man. Play Blood Bowl. This game is absolutely fantastic. It's a ton of fun. You could be a goblin on a pogo stick. You could be a dwarf in a giant tank. It's so much fun. You can play Blood Bowl via Blood Bowl 3 on Steam, the Epic Game Store, PlayStation, and Xbox, and in tabletop form at your friendly local game store with a brand new edition that Blood Bowl 3 will be updating for free. I think the rumor is in March. Yeah, right there, you can see it. Warhammer Blood Bowl. New edition. I think it's going to be in March. Brand new rules. Looks to be a lot of fun. I love this game. Give it a shot if you haven't. Don't be intimidated. It's super duper duper fun. But that'll do it for tonight. Until tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take care, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. And we'll see you back here tomorrow night for a doubleheader. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm going to go watch Terminator 3, I think. No, Terminator 4. That's what I'm going to watch. All right. See you guys later. See you later, guys.